Yeah, we're obviously super disappointed. Incredibly disappointed locker room. But we didn't do the things that we needed to do to put this game away, and that's frustrating. To be playing as well as we were, really on all three sides. I mean, the first half was dominant. I left thinking, man, I don't know how this game is even this close right now. But we gave them momentum. And then second half, we just played very poor football. I mean, you lose the turnover battle, what I consider 5-0, with not getting the quarterback sneak. You get a punt blocked. You have multiple busted plays defensively that led to just huge explosives when really they had no momentum. We just made critical errors that gave them a chance, and give Chris and Kansas State a lot of credit. When we made errors, they made us pay and got some momentum, and we just could not get it back from them. So I give them a lot of credit. We're very disappointed, but our resolve is very strong. We know how to respond from a loss around here. We got to go do it, and it's going to take every single one of us, coaches and players.
Okay, let's go to Eric Bailey, the Tulsa World.
Hey, Lincoln, there were so many contributing factors, and you mentioned some of them, especially in that second half. But what was most disappointing about, can you even pick one most disappointing factor in the way the team played after halftime?
It's tough to pick, sadly. I mean, it was all three sides shared in it. We get the one big play on special teams wise and really had nothing going in the return game. I think defensively it would be some of the busted coverages on the big plays, and then a few missed tackles, that just turned into big plays. And, you give K-State credit. Those were tackles they didn't miss. Those were tackles that they did not miss. They tackled better than we did. We had a lot of one-on-one opportunities that we just couldn't quite get loose, that I think had a chance to break the game open. And then we missed a couple of tackles, that were poor by us defensively. And then, I mean, obviously the turnovers. I mean, to lose the turnover battle 5-0, have some of the turnovers we did when we had all the momentum in the world, and not be able to get one from them. Again, the whole thing's disappointing because there was so much good in the first half, and it's disappointing to let a team like that hang in there. But again, give them credit. They made the plays when they had to make them.
Jason Kersey.
Yeah, Lincoln, in the first half, Spencer, even as he threw the interceptions, looked pretty good. In the second, and especially in the fourth quarter, he seemed to really have trouble getting in a rhythm. Can this be a learning experience for him? And what do you think went wrong for him?
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be a learning experience. I mean, he had the one reckless interception in the first half where he just, threw the ball up, and that was frustrating. Other than that, he was really good in the first half. And then we just couldn't keep him quite comfortable enough in the pocket. And I didn't think he was very comfortable there the entire day. Moved around, missed a few things, missed a couple throws. Made a lot of big plays, had several big plays, taken back by penalties. Again, there's going to be, several decisions that we're going to want back. That's kind of the nature of playing that position. He did a lot of good things too, so no question. I mean, it's a young guy in his second start. We're going to continue to build on it. He'll continue to build and get better and get coached better as well.
James Hale.
Lincoln, you were able to play Harrison today in the offensive line and things. I'm just curious how you felt the offensive line played in the game.
Be interesting to look. I mean, I thought we did some good things in the run game. I thought we were improved there. We just, again, give Kansas State credit. They tackle well. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we were one-on-one with the safety, and I don't know, we weren't able to get loose enough you're counting on one of those eventually popping for a big play. So I thought some positive things in the run game. Obviously the penalties were disappointing. They seemed, we had a bunch of big penalties on big plays, some even there at the end that was big. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to go look at it. I mean, kind of like the whole team. I mean, there are some positives, there were some negatives, and they're going to have to get better just like everybody.
Thanks.
Brandon Drum.
Hey, Lincoln, you talked about you thought Spencer looked a little uneasy inside the pocket. Was that what caused y'all to decide to start rolling him out to different directions, or was that just him on his own deciding to do that?
Oh, I mean, there were some design ones. There were some where he ended up out of the pocket. A little bit of both.
Bettner.
Lincoln, just wondering about the running backs today as far as, TJ Pledger making his debut, and I'm curious just with some of the, I guess, the delays you've had with guys being out, for him to come in today and play like he did, just wondering what you thought about the run game.
Yeah, kind of like I said earlier. I mean, we were clean on some things. I thought we ran hard and pretty physical. Both Seth and TJ did. But obviously we had the one fumble on the ground, and then just again weren't able to shake loose and really pop any. And then when we did, I can think of two of them that we had big penalties on. So the running game was definitely more consistent, but was not near as explosive as we need it to be.
Back to James Hale.
Lincoln, obviously, you got a young quarterback. You got things going on late in the game. You still have chances to make plays. Did you see some things open? And it was, did you get what you wanted to get called? Sometimes you try to get things going, and sometimes it's just not there. So what did you see in late in the game there?
Yeah, late in the game, a little bit of everything. There's some bad calls by me. Sometimes we had guys open that we missed them, or we didn't have quite the protection. Times that we did protect great, and a few things weren't there. I mean, it's just a combination of everything. I mean, I can't point to just one thing and say, man, we were great at everything, but just really bad at this. I mean, it was a poor job by me, and then not putting our guys in position to make enough plays.
Keegan Renault.
Lincoln, you guys last year had a hard time really putting away teams as well. How do you fix that moving forward?
Play better football. Don't turn the ball over, get turnovers, don't get punts blocked, don't have a bunch of penalties on explosive plays.
John Hoover.
Hey, Lincoln. 3.7 yards per carry. There were a handful of short yardage plays that didn't work out in your favor. 3 quarterback sacks, a lot of pressure, as you mentioned earlier. The offensive line had a little bit of shakeup today. Can you kind of describe maybe, you've talked about it a little bit, but is that just going to be a growth process for those guys, or are there going to be maybe moves that you can make in there?
It's just going to depend on how guys play and how guys continue to practice. We lost Creed there for a little bit to some cramping issues, got him back in there. We plan to play, both Rame and Harrison a little bit. I think those guys are going to be good players, but we're still searching for that top lineup that makes us as good as we can be.
Thank you.
Caroline Grace.
Mine got answered. Thank you, though.
Joe Bettner.
I'm wondering just how much has, with the mental mistakes today, how much has that been something that you guys have had to combat in practice and just trying to get past those things as far as this point in the season?
Oh, I'm not saying we practiced flawlessly, but if we would have played the entire game like we practiced over the last 2 weeks, then we wouldn't be sitting here disappointed right now. We've practiced well with the numbers you have. It's been challenging to practice exactly the way that you want to, but I don't believe our issue's been practice. I believe our issue is we've got to carry over what we've done on the practice field to the game field and do it more consistently.
I guess just with, you kind of mentioned it as a challenge to practice, but just having guys in and out, do you think that's attributed to more mental mistakes?
No, I don't. I mean, Kansas State's had guys out too. That's everybody's dealing with that. It is what it is right now. We're not going to use excuses. There was plenty of controllables out there that we all got to do a better job with.
Terry Murdoch.
Lincoln, just the big plays you talked about giving up on defense. Are you concerned at all just about, the confidence of that unit as a whole coming out of a game like this?
It's just you just got to go back to work. You identify the errors. The things that when we do them well, we're a good defense, are the same things that when you don't do them well, good people are going to expose you to. And that's just the nature of the beast. And so there's no question in my mind the defense that we can be. And again, there's a lot of periods of this game where we're very dominant. And so no, you got to sustain it. You got to learn from it. You got to understand if you don't do it well, that good people are going to make you pay. So that's just the nature of defensive football.
And back to Brandon Drum.
Hey, Lincoln, your defensive front, can you talk about your overall feeling, how they played? I know they played really good in stretches, but can you pinpoint maybe some things you think they need to work on going forward outside of maybe just tackling or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the front did some good things. I thought we got some pressure on the quarterback. You know, we were able to hit him quite a bit. You know, they had the 145-yard run, 38-yard run. Other than that, there was nothing in the run game. So we did a good job overall against the run. I mean, it's, you know, the story of the game is what it is. I mean, it's, you know, you got a team that, you know, dominated plays, yards, time of possession, third downs, all of that. But again, it comes down to turnovers, and it comes down to some busted assignments. So I mean, our front did some good things, but do we expect more of them and for them to continue to get better? Absolutely.
And last question, Jason Kersey.
Yeah, Lincoln, I mean, really, since Alex was hired, I feel like we've heard a lot about takeaways and how important they are, and today we saw that. Why, after, you know, into the second season, is that still so difficult for the defense?
You know, it's a great question. You know, we've made progress in a lot of areas, but to not get a turnover, you know, here today is huge. And again, it shows you why it's so important. I mean, again, that was the single biggest difference in what allowed K-State to get back into this game. And so, you know, you've got to, you know, turnovers, occasionally you get a gift here and there. You know, those happen, but turnovers come from physical and aggressive play and then guys being playmakers. And so it's being emphasized like crazy. That doesn't mean we're saying we're doing everything right as coaches, but at the same time, guys have got to go out there and make and finish plays too. And so certainly it's got to get better.